Carroll O'Connor was the heart of one of TV's most iconic shows, All in the Family. But behind his legendary role as Archie Bunker, he carried a deep grudge, one he never spoke about publicly. So, what really happened? Who was the one person Carroll O'Connor could never forgive? The answer will shock you. Before the tension, there was undeniable chemistry. In the early 1970s, All in the Family changed American TV forever, with O'Connor's Archie Bunker at its core, gruff, loud, yet deeply human. Opposite him was a younger, sharp-tongued co-star. Their on-screen battles were electric, but off-camera, a quiet tension simmered beneath the surface. Publicly, they were friendly, but behind the scenes, creative clashes and personal differences grew. Two very different men, one a seasoned actor, the other an up-and-comer, clashed over the show's direction. What started as professional friction slowly turned personal. To the world, All in the Family was a hit. But behind the laughter was a set, divided by strong opinions and an unspoken rift. Carroll O'Connor's obsession with perfection only deepened the divide. Carroll O'Connor believed every word, every pause, every scene had to be perfect. He didn't just memorize lines, he reshaped them, pushing writers to dig deeper. His dedication to character and story was relentless, but his younger co-star brought a very different energy. More relaxed, more outspoken, he wanted the show to be a platform for bigger ideas, sometimes clashing with Carroll's vision of staying true to the characters. One crew member recalled a tense moment when Carroll asked for a scene rewrite, feeling it was too preachy. The co-star insisted it stay as written. The final cut leaned toward his style, and Carroll saw it as part of a growing pattern. Small disagreements turned into real tension. Carroll felt his co-star was twisting the show's heart, even threatening to quit out of frustration. Other cast members tried to mediate, but Carroll's focus on timing and precision meant improvisation drove him crazy. On camera, their performances were flawless. Off camera, the strain was palpable. Carroll became guarded, his co-star more outspoken. The relationship was fraying, but the real breaking point came quietly, in public. During an interview, the co-star called Archie Bunker dangerous, a relic of a mindset that shouldn't be admired. To Carroll, this was more than criticism. It was betrayal. Archie wasn't a villain, but a mirror of society. Hearing his co-star dismiss him so harshly felt like a slap in the face. The media caught wind, spinning stories of a feud. Carroll never responded publicly, but those close to him say he was deeply hurt. He believed those words blurred the line between actor and character, and feared whispers that he agreed with Archie's controversial views. Carroll denied the whispers again and again, but the damage was done. The quiet distance between him and his co-star grew colder, a wound Carroll carried long after the series ended. In private, he reportedly said, "I helped build Archie. Now he acts like it's poison." That sense of betrayal stayed with him for years. He never directly addressed the fallout in interviews, but his tone changed whenever the topic came near. Carroll stopped mentioning his co-star altogether. At reunions and retrospectives, he praised everyone else, writers, producers, guest stars, but never him. All in the Family made them both famous, but to Carroll, their fractured relationship was a wound that never healed. When the show ended, they went separate ways, both professionally and personally. Carroll stayed deeply connected to Archie Bunker, carrying the character's raw honesty into later roles like In the Heat of the Night. He wasn't chasing fame, he was chasing impact. Meanwhile, his co-star pivoted fast, stepping behind the camera to become one of the most respected filmmakers of his generation. But in all the praise and interviews, Carroll's name was almost completely absent. That sting was real. At award shows honoring All in the Family, Carroll would warmly thank many, except him. Not once. It wasn't an oversight, it was a choice. When reporters pressed, Carroll politely steered away. No insults, no outbursts. But the message was clear. No reconciliation, no shared warmth. Insiders called it pride. Others said it was a clash of values. But those closest to Carroll believed it was deeper. A feeling of being used, then forgotten once the other had risen to the top. Years passed. The silence became the story. Two men who had once shared the spotlight now lived like strangers. But Carroll wouldn't stay silent forever. When he finally spoke, his words stunned fans. Decades later, All in the Family was a television legend. Yet Carroll rarely spoke of those years unless asked directly, and even then, he chose his words carefully. In a 1990s interview, asked if he missed his former castmates, Carroll's smile was faint. "Some of them? Yes," he said. Asked about his on-screen son-in-law, he paused. "The boy did a good job. No name, no warmth, just the boy." For Carroll, this was deliberate. He never forgot names. When he left one out, it was a clear boundary. "I have nothing more to say." Friends said Carroll still felt betrayed, not by scandal, but by something personal. He believed his co-star used the show as a stepping stone, only to later discredit its heart and its leading man. He felt erased, as if years of building one of TV's most iconic duos had been wiped away. At industry events, Carroll never faltered. If the name came up, he'd nod politely and move on. "There's nothing to say that I haven't already decided not to say," he told a colleague once. It wasn't spite. It was a line he refused to cross. Several colleagues later confirmed what many suspected. Carroll never truly forgave what he saw as a rewriting of their shared history. The respect was gone, and so was the acknowledgement. It wasn't about ego. It was about legacy. Carroll poured his soul into the show, the character, the message. Watching someone walk away and downplay his role cut deeper than fans realized. To Carroll, it wasn't just creative differences. It was loyalty, gratitude, and the painful feeling of being left behind. Even in his final interviews, he never lashed out or told the full story. He let the silence speak for him, a silence that became permanent. Carroll O'Connor's last years were marked by grace, resilience, and quiet reflection. He faced heartbreak, including the loss of his son, and health struggles that dimmed his public presence. When he passed in June 2001, tributes poured in from across Hollywood. Norman Lear, Gene Stapleton, and many others honored the man behind Archie Bunker. But one voice was missing. His most famous co-star remained silent. Days turned to weeks. No tribute, no statement, no public appearance at the funeral. Fans saw that silence as final proof. The rift had never healed. Not in life, not in death, not even in legacy. The funeral was modest but heartfelt, attended by close family, friends, and TV icons. But many noticed the empty chair, where his former co-star might have been. Some expected a surprise appearance at the funeral, a final embrace of the past. But it never came. Years later, All in the Family was celebrated for its impact and bold storytelling. Carroll O'Connor's name was honored, but his former co-star stayed distant. When asked about the show, he spoke vaguely, never naming Carroll or giving the tribute fans hoped for. It wasn't anger, just emptiness. Their shared years seemed boxed away, erased from the story. Fans wondered why the silence and coldness, the truth, the rift between them never healed. Not a tabloid feud, but a deep, unfixable break. Carroll may have waited for an apology that never came. Others think he made peace with the silence. When Carroll died, there was no reunion, no final words, just the quiet echo of a friendship long gone. Carroll gave us Archie Bunker, more than a character, a mirror to the times, a lightning rod for truth and wit. But Carroll was more than Archie, a loyal, thoughtful artist and father. That's what made the fracture so painful. Their on-screen magic was real, their chemistry undeniable. Yet afterward, no feud, no scandal, just absence. Two men who shared history and greatness never spoke again. All in the Family was about bridging divides. But in real life, understanding never came. Carroll never named him. He let silence speak. A quiet dignity. Some stories remain unfinished. The one person Carroll O'Connor never forgave was his former co-star, someone who shaped an unforgettable show, yet when the lights went out, there was no handshake, no closure, just distance, just quiet. And sometimes, the most powerful stories are the ones left to wonder about. Please subscribe to our channel for more videos, and don't forget to press the bell icon.